I want to take a moment to thank today's sponsor, Rome Pre-Owned Sales, located at 949 Floyd Avenue in Rome. If you're in the market for a quality pre-owned vehicle and great customer service, make sure you check them out. A special thank you to General Manager Anthony Mariani for his support of the Rockpile Sports Network and local sports here in the Mohawk Valley. Your sponsorship truly helps us continue to highlight our athletes, coaches, and teams. If you or your business are interested in sponsoring the Rockpile Sports Network, feel free to reach out to me directly at coachkorg23@gmail.com. Let's welcome everybody to the Mohawk Valley Sports Watch here on Sunday morning. Good morning and welcome to the Mohawk Valley Sports Watch. Thanks for making us part of your Sunday morning here on the show. Great lineup for you today. I got to admit, I'm going to have to laugh when Coach Nowicki comes on with me. Him and I recorded earlier in the week, and it was some audio problems on my end. So he was kind enough to join me again here in a little bit. And then at the bottom of the hour, we'll talk to a friend of the show, RFA boys basketball head coach Nick Medicis. The boys are coming off a buzzer beater win against New Hartford on Friday night. Serafia Norris hit a buzzer step back three at the buzzer to beat New Hartford. And last night they came all the way back to beat Oswego, which was part of the Downtown Classic. They played at Utica College. It was a good game. Oswego led by as many as 10. RFA came back and pulled away. I think they ended up winning by 3 in that game. So congratulations to Coach. We'll get him on. It's been a while since Coach Medicis has joined me, but he's been running around like I have. With kids. And as I said earlier, thanks to the general manager, Anthony Mariani and Rome Pre-Owned Auto Sales for sponsoring the Rockpile Sports Network. So without further ado, let's try to bring him on one more time. Coach, what's going on?
Thanks for having me on again.
I got to remember my questions. I think I got some new ones for you this time.
Oh, I thought I was going to be all practiced up and ready to go this time around.
How you doing this morning?
Doing pretty good. How about you?
Not too bad. Always nice to I got my orange on today, so it's always nice to talk some RFA sports. We'll talk to Coach Medicis here in a little bit as well. But excited to talk to you, and we got a lot of followers here this morning, so I appreciate that. They're excited to hear some RFA hockey talk. So let's dive into it. So, Coach, you were the first recipient of the Rockpile Sports Network Team of the Month for the month of December. And in that stretch, 6-0, you guys outscored your opponents 29-7. Talk to us about that hot start.
It was a great start, and there were some challenging games in there. You'd see we played Whitesboro twice, and that's a good team over there in Whitesboro, and they were able to knock off Skinny Atlas this past week, and who was 3-time state champions here the last couple of years. And, we just really came together early on. The players are buying into the systems. They're working hard. They're playing relentless. And, they deserve the good things that came their way in the month of December.
And, Coach, you guys are off to that 9-1 start. Tough one Friday night against a really good Ithaca team, 3-2. But talk to us about what stands out to you the most about this group so far during that 10-game stretch.
I've talked to a lot of people about this team, and they ask what makes us different. And the first thing that comes to mind is we just have an edge to us this year. They have a little bit of an attitude to them, and it's a good attitude. It's a toughness, and you're in a physical sport like hockey. That toughness is going to take you a long way. So I'm hoping that edge can carry us over the top here this year.
And, Coach, a lot of young talent on this team. So my question is going to be, the young focus here. How important has it been to have the development of the youth program? And you're seeing a lot of young guys. You got an 8th grader and Jude Sestito on this team. Talk to us about the youth development.
Yeah, I'll start with our youth hockey program. It continues to be very strong, as well as some other local programs like in Utica as well. And my kids are starting out right now and learn to skate, and they're out there having a good time. And I encourage people to get out there and get to learn to skate. The second session just got kicked off here, and the numbers are good. We'd always like to see more numbers. And again, hockey and development in hockey, it's all going to get you here to where we are with this team. And I know you mentioned a couple names. You mentioned Jude. He's an 8th grader coming out and doing great things for us as a center in our top 6. And, he's a good little player. He's not the biggest guy out there. He's not the fastest guy out there, but I'd put him up there as one of the smartest guys we got out there on the ice. We talk about having a lot of youth, but we're a good mix here this year on this team. We got some upperclassmen that have been doing it for a long time. We've got some young guys stepping in and supporting them along the way too.
And Coach, talk to us about your senior leader, Jacob Bruno, leading this team, and you have junior Braden Meeks as well, and Jack Carpenter, another junior. You do have some upperclassmen on this team. I think you got 7 seniors. I think you got a handful of juniors, but talk to us about what those guys bring to this team.
Yeah, and I would throw Mark Verano in there too as an upperclassman leading the way as well. But the question started with Jacob Bruno, so we'll start with him. He's just a guy I love having around. Yeah, he's been a competitor since I've got to know him early on in his career. And one thing he said to me very early on in the process, he goes, "I'm with you. I'm with you all the way here. Okay, I'm not going anywhere. This is where I want to be." And his pride in our program is second to none. And it's contagious. He loves being there. He gets everyone wanting to be there as well. And, he's out there and he's producing at a very high level. When it's all said and done here this year, he's going to be on many of our leaderboards for points, both in season and career. And, his impact, though, goes far beyond just, the goals and the scoring that he puts up there. He's a great leader. He's a two-way player, loves playing in a defensive end, and does a great job on the penalty kill for us as well.
And Coach, I know earlier in the week I asked you this question about the home ice advantage at the Kennedy Arena, and I think I mentioned to you my son has been at a few of your games and had came home the first night because my son had never watched a hockey game, and now he's at that age where his buddies are going, so he's going, and he came home. He said, "Dad, that Kennedy Arena was rocking," and he was so excited to come back to another game. But talk to us about the advantage of playing in that arena.
Yeah, the student section always does a great job for us. They've been out in full support for us this year and hope they can continue to do that for us. And just the support from the community. The rink is packed most nights that we're there. And, it gives us a big lift. And, I just like the camaraderie, especially with the kids. Our fans get us going. We got some passionate guys on the ice. I know you mentioned Meeks and Carpenter and Verano and Bruno. Those guys, they're flying around for us, but they're very passionate and they get the fans going. And I really like what we've got from them. I know I spent a lot of time talking about Bruno, but those other 3 guys too have been incredible for us and continue to be incredible for us, both on and off the ice.
Coach, you got a special goaltender in Spirace there. Talk to us about how special he is. He just seems like he's getting better and better as each season, each game goes on.
Talk about another guy that's going to set a lot of records if he doesn't hold them already. And I know he holds some already with our program. He's a competitor. You see he's in the net. If it's practice or game, his goal is to keep the puck out of there. And he is locked in, and I can't tell you how many games he's kept us in. I can't tell you how many games that he's won for us and is going to continue to do for us the rest of this year. He gets this look in his eye, and it's going to be a long night for the other team.
And, Coach, each team's different every year, and you lost some talent from last year's team, especially Tyler Locker. But how does this team differentiate than last year's team? What's the identity of this team compared to what it's been the last few years for you?
I talked about it already. A lot of it is that edge, and a lot of that comes from maturity. We talked about having some upperclassmen. We now have a couple upperclassmen that have been to 2 sectional finals, and we haven't gotten over the top yet. But each loss has brought a lot of learning opportunities for this group. And I look. Friday night we had a tough one. We were playing Ithaca. We lost one of our better players to injury in that night, and a couple questionable things as far as calls from the referees and pucks bouncing over our stick. And where I think in the past, typically a group would just kind of go in the dumpster there and start getting negative. We had a group that was locked in the whole time we were there, and it was great conversation in the locker room between periods. Like, things haven't gone our way. What are we going to do? We got to keep going. We got to keep going. And we look in that third period, we're down 2-1, and Ithaca has gotten one shot in the last 20 minutes, and we're on them and we're able to get the game tying goal with 3 minutes left. And, we really just stuck with it that night. And typical teams in the past that we've had, and I think this is any sport, negativity starts to slip in and your game starts to go, and we just stayed with it. Unfortunately, we weren't able to, make the final play there at the end and go down 3-2, but I could just see it in the eyes of everybody sitting around the room. And, no loss is a good loss and a loss that you want to have. But I think that we learned a lot from that one. And it's just in life, things aren't going to go your way sometimes. And what can you learn from it? And my takeaway is we got a group that's ready, and we got a group that's hungry, and we're starting to get a little bit more mentally tough than we've been.
And coach, the last few seasons, obviously, it's been West Jenny's been the hurdle, and West Jenny's been good for a long time. But when you look over the last few seasons, those matchups with West Jenny, what's your team learned from those matchups? What have you learned from those two? You get to see them here pretty soon down at their place, I believe. So, what'd you learn from those last couple games?
Well, Coach Petrelli and I have taken a little page out of the Indiana football textbook there, and we're telling our guys, and we're talking amongst ourselves, is this group of players has never lost to West Genesee. This team that we have in front of us has never lost to them, and that's our mindset. But from a program aspect, that's a team that has given us trouble in the past, and again, I think we got a different group here. We have a group with an edge, we have a group with an attitude, and we have a group that's going to go right at them. And I think everybody in the room believes that when that one comes, we're not looking ahead, that we'll be ready to go.
And coach, with obviously the goal is always to win a sectional title. And how do you keep the day-to-day focus and keep the team from looking ahead, not only at West Jenny, but at a chance to chase a Section 3 title and bring one back to Rome?
Yeah, it's just a win every day mindset. Whether it's practice or a game, we want to come out and we want to get better every day. We want to win a section championship. We can't win one today. We can't win tomorrow, but we can start building towards it.
And what are a few things that this team would have to do to chase that Section 3 title? Because it seems like coaches never want to lose a game, but I always used to say I'd rather lose early than lose late, because my team's always got better as the year went on. But what are a few things that this team needs to do to make that run late?
You cut out a little bit, but I think I got what you were saying. I think this group just needs to stay consistent, both buying into systems, both staying out of the box, staying disciplined there, and just continuing to get better and continuing to have that edge. Sometimes you worry about a team when you come out and things are great early on and you have an edge and there's a slip. It's just, you just really got to stay on it. And, if you always keep the foot on the gas, you're never going to hit that peak. So hopefully we can continue to work hard and continue to make little things, big things for us. It's going to go a long way.
And coach, I know I asked you this question earlier in the week. I'm going to ask you again, but what would it mean to bring a Section 3 title back to Rome?
It's been since 91. I work at RFA, and I'm reminded every day when I look around that gym and I see the banners up there for section championships. So it's a goal of ours. It's a goal of mine. Wasn't able to do it as a player in any of the sports I played. Our football team in 2007, we came up short against Auburn. That didn't have any real sectional success in hockey and in baseball as well. So one of my goals coming back here, and one of the reasons that drew me back to our town again and drew me into coaching, was to win that section championship. And it's something that drives me every day. I wake up every morning, I think, how can we get a section championship? How can we do this? And I think a lot of our players are in the same boat too. They're starting to get hungrier and hungrier by the minute, and coaching staff as well. Dave Petrelli's got a section championship as a player in hockey, but he's looking for one as a coach. I know Bill Fleet's has a couple under his belt, but Bill's a different story. He's great. He's fantastic.
One of my favorite interviews I've had on this show.
Should give him a call. I'm sure he'll come on again for you. But yeah, the section championship, it drives us, and it'll continue to drive us. And, that's one of our goals here. That's our first goal. But I think everybody in that room would be upset if I said that was our only goal. I think this team has higher goals and higher dreams for this season. And I like our chances.
And Coach, the community-wise, I know back when I was a lot younger than I am now, it was it was RFA hockey, it was RFA football. How big's the community support been for you guys? Because everywhere I go now, everybody's saying, "Man, RFA hockey's winning. RFA hockey's back." And I say, "Well, they never went anywhere. They've always been here." But what's that community support mean to you and the team?
The community support it's just fantastic. The local businesses keep supporting us as far as our program ads and our golf tournament and the Davidson's tournament that we run in the beginning of the year. So the local businesses are supporting. People in the community are just fantastic. Everywhere I go, people want to talk about RFA hockey, and I'll talk RFA hockey any day. It's been a part of my life since 2003 when I was here as a player for the first time. And just, again, you go into an arena that is packed with people, some people you've never even seen before. Yeah. Obviously, you have your hockey families and whatnot, and the kids to the program change and whatnot. But the continued support and just everything that they give us, from showing up to Booster Club events to coming and supporting us on the ice. And we couldn't ask for a better community, honestly. I've been here my whole life, and my kids, my family, we all love it here. And again, hopefully we can continue to do great things for the city.
All right, non-hockey question. Last one I got for you is Indiana, Miami in football for the national championship in Miami. The way Indiana's played, they look like an NFL team. I love the Signetti story. Who you got?
Indiana for me. Everybody forgets quarterback's coming home to play in Miami. So I'm excited to see what he could do. And that's just been a program that I've enjoyed watching develop the past few years. And I think they're gonna take it here this year. But it's gonna be a good game. And looking forward to watching it.
Not a lot of flaws on that team when you try to break them down between the hedges. There's just not a lot of things they do wrong. They don't make a lot of mistakes. They're well coached and good group of kids on that. It should be a good game. I think Miami's going to give them a lot better game than what people think.
I think so too. And one thing with them, I know I mentioned them earlier, is they have a standard to them. And every time I listen to Coach talk, he talks about the standard and being unwavering to the standard. And I think it's a good message, not only to like our players, but to all our players in our communities and our young athletes. Is if you set a standard in your program, or you set a standard for yourself and you adhere to those standards, you're going to be a successful individual. So again, part of the reason why I like Indiana is because they're rooted in that. And it's something that we try to bring to our program.
Coach, you got any words of wisdom for Coach Medicis here? I'm just bringing him on because now I got to switch gears and talk some boys basketball. You got any good words for him?
Oh, he's got him rolling. I watched that buzzer beater. Sharafia, that's fantastic. Now, Nick, you've done a great job with your program the last couple of years. And, it's been really good for our school community to see the success that both of the programs have had the last couple of years. And hopefully we can continue going, and both of us are looking to get over the top here, and hopefully we can do it together.
Yeah, that would definitely be nice to see 2 Section 3 titles come back to Rome. Well, listen, Coach Nowicki, I appreciate you, man. I'm sorry we had the hiccup early in the week. I added a few more questions today than I did the other night, but I know you and I will talk again soon during the season.
Sounds great. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Coach. All right, let me bring this guy on now. It's about time I get you on here to talk some hoops.
I know.
What's going on this morning?
Been up since 4. Got a kids with croup this morning.
Oh,
It's been
jeepers.
it's been a morning. So no, I got them entertained right now. There's a movie playing, so hopefully we can get away for a couple minutes and talk some basketball and some sports. And I'm sure you can brag about the Big Ten and how great they are and everything else that you love to do.
Well, listen, I'm going to start with you first. I watched last night's game, but you guys are off to an 8-3 start. I want to talk to you a little bit about, the last couple seasons for you guys. 17 win seasons last year, 17-1 didn't end how you guys wanted it to end, but two back-to-back seasons, and I said this program's definitely heading in the right direction. I think over the last handful of years for you. How would you assess this group so far through the first part of the season?
I think this is a group that's growing every day. We can't replace, Uzziah Grimes, DeAndre, DeJean, Timmy Wolf, and Devon with just one guy. It's got to be a team effort. And, we need guys to step up. And, Sarafi has been, the maestro. He's been the guy that's been at the helm for this will be year 5 on varsity. And he's stepping into a new role, believe it or not, because he's now, the number one option. In the past, he's been that facilitator that gets everyone involved. And this year, he's got to step into a role where he's got to step up and take big shots. And, the other day he did that, and he's been doing that all year. But yeah, we're growing. We're getting better every day. I mean, if you look at game 1 to where we're at right now, we're not even the same team. I think it's getting better every day. But and the reality is it doesn't really matter what you're doing in early January. It matters what you're doing in late February and in March. And we're hoping to play our best basketball when it gets to that stretch.
And coming off that season last year, the 17-1, does this year feel different in terms of expectations for you guys?
Yes and no. I think the expectations here is that we're going to compete every year. I think we're going to be in the mix every year as far as, a sectional title. I think when you're talking AAA, I think we're going to be in that mix. But I also think there's a lot of people that doubted us early on. We lost a lot from last year. We lost a lot of points. And we've had to kind of rebrand the way we play. We've made a lot of adjustments as we've gone. And we've, made a lot of mistakes that we got to find ways to correct and get better at. But, I really like where we're headed. I love the schedule so far. We've really challenged ourselves. I mean, we had our showcase early on, but Friday was our first actual home game of the year. So, we've been on the road. We've challenged ourselves. We've been to Albany. We've played in, the Downtown Classic, our showcase, Coaches versus Cancer, Pepinos. We've been all over the place. And then we go to Springfield this weekend. So we've definitely challenged ourselves. And, I like the way that we're headed right now.
And playing those non-conference games like that, I know we always talk about schedules, when we're talking about a lot of teams challenging yourself non-conference. Then you get into the Tri-Valley League. And the Tri-Valley, I think this year is better than what it's been, in the past 2 or 3 years. But how has this allowed you, the program, to sustain the success that you guys have had over the years?
Well, I think it starts with the youth program, getting the right people involved at a young age and getting these guys taught the skills and fundamentals and really build the love of the game. And, we're going to win in the off season. We put a lot of work in. We have open gyms all throughout the year. We're in the weight room now more than we've ever been. We've added guys to the staff yearly, getting more and more people involved. Last year, we added Mike Harrison to the JV staff, and this year he's coaching a modified team, and he's a former Division II basketball player. So, I mean, Cam Jones this year to the varsity staff, who has done an unbelievable job with his AAU program. And unfortunately, he doesn't have a varsity job, so we'll reap the benefits for as long as we'll have them. But it's really about getting after in the off season and then reaping the benefit of that hard work throughout the year.
And this team, as the season goes, obviously you guys would love, as Coach Nowicki said, they're chasing a Section 3 title. Obviously, that's the goal here too. Is let's finish the year strong and let's make a run. What's this team have to do to make a run deep into the playoffs?
Well, we need to be consistent. Number one, we really haven't put together 4 good quarters in a row. We play well in spurts, and then we don't play well for spurts. And unfortunately, this isn't the team that's going to score 95 points and outscore you 95 to 88. So it's a team that's built differently. We've been turning the ball over a lot lately, especially these last two games. And they're coming from people that we expect to do a better job with their decision making. And they're just trying to do too much right now. And we have to understand that we just got to play within ourselves and trust the process and trust what we're trying to do. And things will work itself out. I mean, we're not concerned. Yesterday we didn't really shoot the ball well. I mean, we trust our guys taking those shots, whether they go in or not. We have to find ways to win when the three ball isn't going in. So I just think it's a matter of us continuing to get better and limiting the mental mistakes and the silly turnovers.
So I was watching that game yesterday. I know I messaged you and said I watched the entire game, and when your game started, I'm like, well, geez, he's not pressing, they're not getting up and down. That's RFA style. And then all of a sudden, when you guys turn that press on and just gave the ball to Serafia, I mean, man, he just took over that game in the second half, and he's a good weapon to have late because with the ball in his hands, you probably just sit back and say, just get it in his hands, and I know he's going to make a smart decision. How big was he late for you in that game and then the New Hartford game?
Well, I think in both games he was really big. I mean, he basically took over and would not let us lose that game. So, I mean, it's nice when you have that option that you don't have to worry about, handling the ball late or decision making or, worried about pressure. I mean, he's been through it all. He's seen it all. He's seen every coverage. He's seen everything that needs to be seen. And, it's nice when he can step up and put the ball in the basket because he's had that ability for years. He just hasn't had to do that, and he's always going to make the right play. So in the past, he might have made that same play, but he dishes it out to a shooter or a guy going to the basket. Now he's going to the basket and finishing, and most importantly for Serafia, he's making free throws. If he doesn't make free throws, we lose both these games the last 2 days. So it's been good to see. It's been good to see him step up, and we're going to rely on him. We're going to need him, and we've said for years, you win close games with your seniors. Your seniors need to step up, and the last couple of days, Serafia stepped up, Ethan stepped up. I mean, we don't win the game yesterday if Mikey Sauerafer doesn't come in and change the whole vibe of the game. I mean, he came in and just changed everything with just hustle. He came in and just made plays, and all of a sudden we go on an 8-0 run, and now we're up 6 at halftime as opposed to being down. And, we don't win that game without Mikey's effort yesterday.
Yeah, I was going to say, Coach, you had some guys that came in that really changed. I thought he gave you some good minutes he gave you a good spark, and it looked like you're able to rotate some guys and get some guys in there to stay fresh. That it looked like you were looking to see who was the right fit that can give you guys that spark. I thought he gave you a really good spark. But talk to us a little bit about, you got Serafia, Ethan Stovall is another senior for you. Luke Heyman's been with you for a long time. Cordell this year is another year older. Talk to us a little bit about those guys.
Yeah, I mean, these are all guys that are returning guys that contributed in the past couple of years. I mean, Luke's now a junior. He's been starting since 8th grade. He's really stepped up. He's really carried us in some games. I think the cool thing with Luke is everybody over the last couple of years got used to watching Luke do all the little things and kind of wondered, like, can he score though? Can he be a guard? Because he does all the little things, and I think he's shown, from the start. I mean, he's able to do everything. He's a college level player that has played out of position because he's an unselfish kid, a leader, and he wants to win. And that's what separates this group is they all want to win. Serafia scored, I think, 31 on Friday and 27 yesterday. But if he scored 2 tomorrow and we won, he'd be happy with it. Ethan Stovall is going to defend and guard the other team's best player. And we're up 2 with 30 seconds left, and they have the ball, and their stud is, we know he's getting the ball. It's not even a question about who guards him because Ethan's going to step up and take that role on. Cordell's had games where he absolutely dominates, and he has games where we lack getting him the ball, and he needs to get more touches. So it's just a matter of getting on the same page. We've been a team that runs and guns, and the guards take most of the shots, and we don't run a ton for the big guy. We've tried to do more of that this year to get him involved. I think he's done a really good job on the boards, but we're not really doing a good job getting him involved as much as we need to, because he should be a 15 and 10 guy every game. I can go on and talk about Sarafia because he's just done everything the right way since the start. So those four are our nucleus, and we're winning games now because they're starting to play well. The scary thing is I think we got a ways to go. I think we can get a lot better. I think there's a lot of things we can fix. And we always say good teams find ways to win games, and we've found ways to win games, and we can definitely play better.
So, Coach, where's the challenge with this team as you move forward? What are some of the challenges that you'll make to the team, and what's this team got to improve on as the year goes? And as you said, I think it's scary that the start that you're off to, given the non-conference schedule, still find ways to win, and you haven't played your best basketball yet. I think says something about this group. How will you challenge them the rest of the way?
Well, I think we still got a lot of things to work on. We're still turning the ball over way too much. Defensively, our rotations are getting better, but we still have to fix a lot. Again, it's a new style. These guys are so used to running and gunning and pressing and playing that chaos that we've played the last couple of years. We have not been able to press the same way this year, and it's been effective for us. We're in the past, we would not win games in the 50s, 60s, low 70s. Those are games that we would end up losing. So we're winning a different way. Yesterday showed that we can still get up and down and run and press when we need to. It's just a matter of us growing into certain roles. We went 10 deep yesterday. Guys are still trying to figure out what their role is. We have a lot of point guards on this team that are kind of shifting off to the wing because Sarafia is the point guard and he's not coming out of the game. So we're still trying to figure some things out. We're still trying to figure out how to play with this team. We ended up with a lot of guys playing football, which is a good thing. But we were behind the 8 ball because all those guys played football. And then, we had Luke and Sarafia get hurt during football. So they missed the first game in all preseason. So, between that and, we had the flu go through the team. So we really haven't played with our full team healthy yet. We're starting to get there. So I just think, there's a lot of little things that need to be corrected and fixed. But, I like our chances going forward. I really like this team. I like it more than I thought I was going to. I think we have more weapons. We can be deep. And the 2 sophomores that are up have been more impressive than we thought they were going to be this early. We couldn't take them out of the game at the end of the game yesterday. Kwame Smith coming up from JV, I think he had 13 or 15 last night and made some huge shots. He had some huge deflections and steals late in the game. And for a team that is struggling at the free throw line, he stepped up and went 2 for 2 late in the game, which I thought was huge. So between him and the defense that Carlos puts out there, he's gonna stifle any point guard and make them work. So, like I said, I really like the way this team is playing. Guys have stepped up and filled some roles. Guys like Owen Smith have exceeded expectations and stepped in as a shooter that's able to spread the floor. And now when you can't help off of Owen because he's shooting so well from the outside, it opens up driving lanes for Sarafia, Luke, and Ethan, and hopefully some dump offs for Cordell. So I think we're just trying to figure out how to continue to get better playing as a team. And, like I said, we got a lot of room to grow. We're still making a lot of little mistakes, but from day one to now, it's like a completely different team.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, I said to myself last night watching you guys play, I said in the past, if you would have told me RFA is going to win a game 55-52, or I'm like, if this game ain't in the 80s and 90s, I think RFA is going to struggle. So to be able to play the different styles like that you can win in a shootout, you can win in these low-scoring games, that's only going to make you guys better.
Absolutely. And, we've challenged ourselves, I think this is our third back-to-back that we've played. We're playing more of like a college schedule where we're practicing throughout the week and then playing back-to-back weekend games, which is tough because you always go in with a game plan. Now you're game planning for 2 games. And,
Yep.
to come off a game like New Hartford the day before, which is a league game, a Friday night late game, it's our first home game, a buzzer beater, and then you have to turn around, go to chaos in the morning and work with the young kids, go home and then come back and play a game against a team that you think you should beat. It's mentally tough, and we're challenging them. And for a while we struggled. I mean, we were down 10 early in the
Yep.
fourth quarter, and again, to this group's, to the point earlier, this group's getting better, and we faced a lot of adversity, and I really like the way that we've handled it so far.
Yeah, Oswego was a scrappy group because going into the game, I said this should be a relatively easier game for you guys, and they were scrappy the whole way. And that one kid for them was Kozlowski, I think. Man, he was knocking
Yes.
down some shots. But they
Yeah.
they were gutsy. They played you tough for 4 quarters.
I believe they had 12 threes made yesterday.
Yeah,
They shot really. I mean, their coach came up after and said that's the best we've played all year. He said that was the same as last year when we played you. It was the best that we played all year. I give them a lot of credit. They came in. They were struggling as of late, but that was a team that was kind of like the sleeper pick in the double A's to make a run. They return a lot from last year. They play a style similar to us from last year where they want to run and play in the 80s. And if they're knocking down shots, they're tough. They have not shot the ball very well as of late. And yesterday they shot the ball really well. And,
yeah.
we turned the ball over, and that's a recipe for an upset. And, until late when Sarafia took over, I mean, we were in trouble. And again, to our credit, our guys stepped up and made some plays down the stretch.
So I know you messaged me last night. You said Tuesday night, a big doubleheader. We'll have Notre Dame girls against RFA at home, followed by you guys and a good Bishop Ludden team. But I think it's great to have the back-to-back games of the girls and the boys like that. I'd love to see more of that. But that's going to be a big test for not only the girls, who they played Notre Dame about a week or two ago, but you guys get a tough Bishop Ludden team.
Yeah, I mean they're really good. Jazar obviously is a really good player, but they have some guys there that don't get the recognition that he does that can play. And I think anytime you play a Gallagher Driscoll coach team, they're going to come in prepared and reigning Section 3 champs. So it's definitely a battle. I mean, our schedule is no joke. It was set up this way to get us battle tested for sectionals. I mean, Ludden's a really, really good team. And then you look forward and, we go to Springfield and play 2 really good teams. And then we come back and we still have Liverpool. We still have CNS. We still play Proctor, New Hartford again, Whitesboro. I mean, we have a gauntlet of a schedule, and we are definitely going to be battle tested going into sectionals. And we're not going to be 17-0 like last year, but I think this group's going to be more battle tested because we're experiencing games like New Hartford. We're experiencing a game like yesterday where things aren't going our way and we have to find a way to win. Last year we're beating up on everybody and we really weren't tested. This year we're definitely finding ourselves in different situations, and it's really good for us to get ready for that stretch run. When we've seen everything, we've been against everything. We've seen every defense. We've been in close games. We've been in, tight games when we're struggling. I'm just waiting for the game when we put it all together and we play really well.
So, non-basketball related question, the same thing I asked Coach Nowicki. We get to see Indiana, Miami. Miami gets a home game. I haven't given my pick yet, but I know where I'm leaning with my pick, but I haven't broken it down yet. I will this week. Any chance that you can find a way to slow down this Kurt Signetti team and beat Indiana at their home stadium?
I mean, I feel like we had this, everybody had this conversation when Miami was playing Ohio State. And outside of you, most people predicted Ohio State would roll over
Yep.
Miami. Miami played in a weak ACC. They had some questionable losses. But Miami's playing well right now. They're confident. And Indiana's always kind of ridden the whole underdog. We're misfits. We don't belong. We're this. And now after that dominating performance, they're the favorites. And it's interesting, when even going into the Big Ten championship, it wasn't, Indiana comes in as the number one team in the country, and it's still, can Indiana survive? Can Indiana keep this
Yep.
fairy tale run going? I think the roles have kind of been reversed now, and now Indiana comes in as the favorite, and it's, Miami comes in with nothing to lose, and they're playing at home, and they're playing well, and they've found ways to win. So I don't count Miami out at all. Um, I don't want Indiana to win just because I don't want to hear all the Big Ten people talk about how great the Big Ten is and SEC's overrated and Big Ten this and the Big Ten that. I can't stand Indiana because of Keith Smart's shot against Syracuse. So I am just based on that alone. I'm hoping Miami, as much as I don't like them, I'm hoping that Miami does pull it out.
You're a typical typical basketball coach response. I kind of knew you were going to go that direction with that. But I'll be honest with you, watching Indiana play, you're right. I did pick Miami to beat Ohio State. I think I had it like 16-10 just because I thought the way they were built, as we always talk
Up
about, from
front.
the inside out up front.
Yep.
And I don't think Mario Cristobal really gets enough credit, you know. And I know we got all the group chats going on, and I know the Lane Kiffin haters are going to disagree with me when I say this, but I think Mario Cristobal left a lot of talent at Oregon, set them up for success. I think Lane Kiffin set Ole Miss up for success with the players that were there. And listen, credit Pete Golden. I think he did a fantastic job filling in, really tough situation. But then I go back and I look at Miami this year, the job that Cristobal's done with this team. And listen, credit Carson Beck, because that last drive for him was a big drive. He's looked like the Carson Beck of old, making some of those throws. But I got to really dive deep because I don't see many flaws in Indiana's game on either side. They're going to have to beat themselves, I think, for Miami to have a chance to win.
Well, and it's one of those things where, everything's kind of gone Indiana's way all year. You can even go back to that first game at Oregon, the interception late. Like, there's just a lot of things that went their way throughout the year. How does Indiana react when, they throw a pick the first play of the game and Miami's rocking and, all of a sudden Miami's got the momentum? How do they act when they're down, 2 scores in a game early on? Do they start panicking? I mean, Mendoza's had a great story, but I mean, nobody knew of him last year when he wasn't playing at Indiana. So, I mean, it's not like he's invincible and he's this, all-time great quarterback that's been carrying. I mean, he came out of nowhere and he's had a great run this year. I hope for a good game. I just don't want it to, be a blowout and a waste of time. I'd love to see a nice close game. But I can never hope for an Indiana win.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a better game than what people think. Because again, I think the way Miami's built, the only difference I think right now for me is I think Indiana's defense in the back end is pretty good. But Miami's secondary had some shots at some interceptions. They dropped some balls, in that semifinal game. But again, playing at home, I mean, you can't ask for a better script on the Miami side. And then I think
Right.
the Indiana story, obviously, if they find a way to win a national championship, I think you're going to hear people say, is this the best college football team, of all time, or that they just go on a big run at the right time. So we'll see. A lot of storylines will play out. I haven't really broken it down yet, but obviously I'm going to lean towards Indiana right now until I can find some flaws, but we'll see what happens. Should be a good game, though. I think Coach might have froze on me. His screen might have froze. That's okay. We'll kick it back to Coach here. I'll message him after here, let him know. But I want to make sure I thank Coach Nowicki for coming on. I'm really excited that I was able to get him back on here this morning. Him and I recorded earlier in the week, but I had some audio problems earlier in the week, so he was kind enough to jump on with me here this morning. So thanks to him. They're going to chase a Section 3 title. I can't wait to see it. We'll have him on again here later in the year. Big one down at West Jenny here in a few weeks. Excited for that game. And Coach Medicis has done an absolute fantastic job with the boys program here in Rome. Does a great job with the youth program. It's a different team, but the end goal is still the same, and he's built a great program here at RFA. So I definitely want to make sure that I thank Coach. And let me just bring him on to say thanks, Coach. I was just bringing you on to say thanks to you for jumping on. Was thanking Coach Nowicki, but it's good to have you back on to talk some hoops. We'll have to do it again and get your take on some other things when you got some time.
Yeah, it's just, we between, the two of our kids, I mean, they're just everywhere. It's so
Yep.
tough to get everybody together. I mean, I miss getting on here and chopping it up with you and Pags, and of course the stat man. We got to get the crew back together and continue to talk sports. It's always a blast.
Yeah, I definitely miss our Saturday mornings,
Yes.
but I definitely miss getting the whole crew. But we'll get everybody back together. I know Pags is running around with hockey and basketball, and you're running basketball, lacrosse, and every other sport imaginable. We'll do it again. We'll see if we can talk some college football here over the next couple weeks, even if we got to do a wrap up show or something like that. But good to have you back on.
Yeah, it's been fun as always. Hopefully we can align some times so we can get on and we can talk more RFA basketball and everything else that's going on.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, listen, we'll see you Tuesday night, and best of luck the rest of the way.
All right, thanks, Rock.
You got it. So good to have him back on. I missed the entire crew. I missed the old shows back down at the radio station. That was the highlight of my Saturday mornings, was just going in and sitting with those guys and talking some sports. So again, thanks to Rome Pre-Owned for sponsoring the Rockpile Sports Network. Thanks to Coach Nowicki. Thanks to Coach Medices. Hopefully enjoyed today's show here, the Mohawk Valley Sports Watch, right here on the Rockpile Sports Network. Have a good evening, everybody.